come up with, and wanted to show some of the places that I grew up, some of the areas that had an influence on me, and hopefully we can find some way that we can get the message to students here in San Antonio that going beyond the boundaries of the barrios and going to school to get an education, eventually going to the university and finding what their place is in our society, that they can choose a career, and whether it's in science and engineering or it's in teaching, law, and medicine, but somehow to really connect with them and show them that it's possible, not just me as an example, but many others, and just wanted to show you some of the places that I grew up and had an influence in, that hopefully they can relate to. So wanted to start in the heart of the West Side, where I'm from, and we can consider where the Guadalupe Theater is, the Guadalupe Plaza, as kind of the heart and soul of the West Side. And that was my neighborhood. Many of my friends, we grew up there. I know it's a very difficult sometimes because of economic reasons to continue your education, but I think that it is possible. Again, it has a big influence, such a strong culture here in the West Side of people who have struggled to overcome social and economic barriers and continue to schooling. So I grew up on Monterrey Street near Zarzamora in Monterrey. Actually, 2706 Monterrey Street was my address. From I was very young. We were really raised in New Braunfels when we were very young, and then we moved to San Antonio. And our house in Monterrey was the center for all of my family. I have a very big family. But my mother was very supportive of all of us and all our interests. And very close to Monterrey was my elementary school, Davy Crockett Elementary School. I used to be able to just walk from my house to Crockett. And I was incredibly lucky. Crockett had some very good teachers that encouraged us to excel. And one of the things that I really liked about the neighborhood there in Monterrey and Crockett was we had a local library, the Prospect Hill Library, and I really took advantage of the library and used to go there whenever I could to read National Geographics and Boy's Life and Popular Science. And those are the kind of things that I wish I could communicate to students, that when you go into school, to be looking beyond just your regular classes and find out what are the things that interest you, what are the places in the world that you'd like to go visit, and to be thinking outside the barrio. So from Crockett, I went to Washington Irving Middle School, also very close to my house on Monterrey Street, also within walking distance. Many of my friends were there. But at Irving is where we really started getting into more of the classes, such as math and science. And again, had teachers that were committed, that saw that I was interested and really paid a lot of attention in giving us a good education and really preparing me for further education. But at Irving, one of the things that was happening at the time was we weren't really encouraged to go to college. At the time, education was geared more towards vocational and technical education in the high schools. So at Irving, my friends and I were all asked what vocations we would like to learn when we go to high school. So again, college wasn't even part of our thinking then. And since I was good at math, and the teachers told me I was good at math, that I should consider maybe drafting and at the high school. So the high school that taught drafting at the time was Lewis W. Fox Tech. And so I was enrolled at Fox Tech in the engineering drafting programs. So my high school education consisted of half a day in drafting class and then half a day of other classes. And I really enjoyed drafting. I really enjoyed working engineering problems and designing some of the parts and making the drawings that engineers would later use. But because we only had academic classes for half a day, my math and science were very limited. The highest math that I had at Fox Tech was Algebra 1. So I was prepared to be a draftsman, but I wasn't prepared to go to college. And at the time, college wasn't even something that I was considering. And upon graduating from Fox Tech, I got a job immediately, got hired at the San Antonio airport for a company called Business Aircraft Corporation. And Business Aircraft Corporation modified airplanes to convert them into air ambulances for aerial photography. And they also had a contract with the military to repair and maintain airplanes. So as a draftsman, I was working with engineers there at the aircraft company, and I started understanding what engineers did. They would do the analysis and design the parts, and then they would give me the information, and I would make the drawings that then the machinists and the sheet metal workers would make the final parts. But I got to climb on the airplanes. I got to work a lot hands-on with the airplanes. And the engineers told me that I had a knack for it, that maybe I should consider going to college and become an engineer.